What's going on, y'all? This your boy Chris Simmons coming to you with another podcast episode. And man, I'm just excited to be able to, present this episode, y'all. Man, we got a good one. We got a very special episode today. But before we get into the episode, man, I just want to take the time to just say that I'm blessed to still be here in 2021. I mean, it's just God has really blessed me with so many opportunities, going forward in this year. And I know last year, 2020 was rough. I know it was rough for a lot of people, but we are in a new year and, it's time to take off. And, my motto is making a difference. That's what I came in to 2021, thinking, I want to be able to make a difference with somebody, And, one of the ways I'm trying to do that is through this podcast. And for those of you who listen to my podcast, from the beginning, you know that I had the motivation to start this back when I tore my Achilles, 10 months ago. And, I was just trying to, figure out what I was going to do, because I really couldn't do a whole lot, on one leg and, being in quarantine, I was like, how am I going to use this pain to, push me to greatness? And, that's where I got this idea. And, it's just a lot of, stuff is happening in the world right now, a lot of negative stuff going on right now. So, the purpose of me, trying to do this is to promote positivity, because we need more positive light in the world with all this, all these dark clouds. So, I just thought, why not just start a podcast, so I've definitely been, trying to work on it every single week. Definitely going into 2021, definitely trying to innovate it, definitely trying to, make it grow, and, definitely having more people on, just, getting some different perspectives and everything like that. So, 2021, man, this podcast is about to take off, and, I'm definitely going to try to produce better content and just trying to, continue to promote that positive energy that I was talking about, what I mean? But, before, I introduce today's guest, I just want to, just give a quick reminder that our podcast is on Instagram now. 2021, we definitely started Instagram about a little over a week ago, for those of you who are not familiar with. So if you want to definitely follow us on Instagram, check us out. It's at Disinfecting Your Life. No spaces, no capitals. Again, that is at Disinfecting Your Life. For those of you who are not aware of our Instagram, please give us a follow. We also have a TikTok. We will definitely, get some posts on there. But if you want to stay tuned for the latest stuff that's going to happen on TikTok, please give us a follow on there. After today's show, we will definitely be launching our YouTube video really soon. So if you want to get updates on that, please, like I said, follow us on Instagram. And we also will be releasing our merch. So for those of you who are not aware, I have a merchandise business that will be attached to this podcast. So, we will definitely be releasing that soon. Like I said, details will also be on Instagram. And just to kind of show you what I'm talking about, I got this shirt. It's called Step Towards Your Purpose. So you can definitely get these shirts on eBay. If you look on eBay and you want to, try to search it, go under the clothing and accessory section and type in Chris's Motivational Gear. I got shirts and masks as of right now. Definitely will be introducing more merchandise here in a minute. But I just want to remind y'all that we do have a merchandise for this. And, if you want to check us out on eBay, again, that's at Chris's Motivational Gear. If you want to, get some cool merch, get some of these nice shirts and so on and so forth. But, that's enough of that, because I really want to get into the show today. I really want to get to the main event, what I'm saying? This is why we're here, man. And I'm so blessed that I was able to have a special guest come on today. I know this man is a very busy man. I was actually put on to him by my friend Shay, who was on my last podcast. And, I just heard a lot of great things about him. He's a young, successful Black CEO in the city of Cleveland, Ohio, which I think Cleveland, Ohio needs some life, because Cleveland, Ohio is rough. And I think I heard a statistic about Cleveland that says they're one of the top 10 most dangerous cities I think they're in the top. Yeah, I think they're ranked number 9 or something like that. So, it's just great to see this young brother doing something great in the community. Um, so, I'm just very excited to have him on. He looking good, what I'm saying? Got his suit and tie on, what I'm saying? He told me before the show that this is his everyday dress. But I appreciate you, brother. You know what I mean? But without further ado, I'm gonna let him, do most of the talking and everything, and just kind of give y'all, some background about who he is and his story and how he made it to where he is today. But without further ado, let me introduce y'all to my brother, Trevor Emery. What's going on, man?
How you guys doing? I think it's a privilege to be on the call. I heard a tailwind of somebody who wanted to not only interview me, but just was a self-starter, someone who was trying to do something for himself and generate positivity in the world. And for me, that's everything I stand for. Everything I stand for is to, I want to say cliche and say fight the power, but be able to do something bigger than myself. And that's how I live by the mantra of just do whatever it takes to win in life. And me coming up and being an entrepreneur, I think I didn't start off and wake up one day and just say I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I think I was always instilled in that. I'm born and raised from South Bend, Indiana. My family is born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. I was the only lucky one to be born around some cornfields and nothing else. And coming into life, I realized at a young age that it's a cruel world. And sometimes you get dealt a bad hand and you have two options to do with it. Either you deal with it and you manage with it and you make something of it, or you fold. And I think I had amazing human beings and amazing family around me that just gave me so much support and love. And I've always wanted to be that person that can do the exact same thing for other people. I was dealt a bad hand starting off in life, and the hand I was given was I was actually born deaf. I actually had only my ears were operable, but I only had 10% of hearing. And if you want to know what 10% hearing sounds like, I'm sure many of you guys are playing the brand new PlayStation, brand new Xbox. COD is brand new to the game, or jumping on that, and you have a loud grenade noise, that loud like whistling sound. That's how I heard it every single day. And I remember being raised on ASL, learning American Sign Language, and I had an amazing family where they actually saved 2 years of their earning towards this experimental surgery where they'll actually work on the ear canal and allow the person to be able to be operable and allow them to hear eventually at 100%. And like I can't thank them enough for that surgery because I think it was another gift. I think we're all given gifts, and sometimes you just have to highlight and figure it out for yourself. But I got the gift of hearing, and it was an amazing feeling. I remember when the procedure was done. I was around 7, 8, and I remember being so scared, like going into the procedure. But like I said, loving family. Never had a dad in my life, but I had an amazing grandparents, and rest in peace. I just lost my grandfather, but thank you for the life he gave me, and thank you for the abilities of like what he's taught me in life. And my mom definitely being there for me and fully supportive. Going into that procedure, coming out, and man, I felt like it was a brand new world, and just like Aladdin. I just like coming in, I was so excited. Like I was able to hear. I was a crazy kid when I came to the procedure. They tell you to like sit down, don't move. Your equilibrium is off. Don't be too tenacious to figure out things. And I don't listen to things. I don't think I ever have. And I remember getting out of the chair and just running to touch everything, running to touch the scalpel, running to touch the table, jumping on the chairs. Like I was just so curious to hear how the world sounded. And I think one of the funniest lines I tell so many people is that I remember I remember my first song, and some people look at me crazy. There's no way you remember your first song. I mean, being like having the abilities to hear at the age of 7, 8, it's easy to remember that. And I remember going home, and I remember going into the car where my grandma, old, junky car, and I never could hear what she was saying. But I remember this time, like she would like always hit the wheel, like please, please, please. I remember her always praying and being able to the car started. And this time I'm hearing the engine roar, and this time we're driving down the street and listening to birds chirp. And I mean, it was just an amazing feeling. And I remember going up to my house, and now when I really think about it, I think some people would think I was really crazy on that day, where I was running into the grass, jumping on the ground, and like going on the ground face first, just like trying to listen to what the ground sounded like. And I remember going into the house, and my grandfather grabs me, he puts me on the kitchen table, and he hits play on this old cassette tape where he always had to blow it in, put it in, give it a little bit of love, and then hit play. And I heard Tutti Frutti by Little Richard. And it was forever my favorite song because it's a song I can remember. And when I say dealt a bad hand, I think perspective that people don't think about is I was really far behind the curve. I wasn't able to hear, so half of the English language people already learned and already were writing, and I was just barely getting introduced to it. And I realized that the world is a lot more crueler than it seems. That kids that at a young age, being around 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds, they will tell you exactly how it is and how they feel. And I remember being told I was stupid. I remember being told that like sounds like it's the first word he ever said. And if I nowadays if I could talk to those people, I'd be like, yeah, you're the idiot because it is my first time. And I remember the people using the hard R, which I always say is calling people retarded and calling me retarded. And those like I just think it's a word that people should refrain from. But for me, at first it was really hard. And I remember because let's be real, the American education system it's not as cracked up as it can be. It's really not that great. If you fall behind, you fall behind. And I remember going home, and I remember one day just getting bullied and ripped a new one, and I was going home with my head through my tails through my legs, and I go and I see my family, and I go and talk to my mom, and mom's definitely loving, and my mom being as sick as she was and still sick even to this day, I can see she just try to pour out all the love she can. Living with my grandparents and them supporting my mom and me. I remember my grandma being, let's be real, we all know how grandmas are, the most like benevolent, beautiful human beings in the world. They'll give you're like, I'm sad, here's food, and here's all the candy you want. I'm like, I don't really need that, but I'll take it. But I remember the toughest person that was in my life, and that's why I give so much praise to him. It was my grandfather. Because when I walked in and I told him my problems, he instead of saying, "Oh, Trevor, I feel you," he grabs me and he says, "Okay, what do you want to do then? What do you expect me to do? What do you expect these words are going to help you do?" It's like, I don't know. He's like, here's the thing I can tell you is either you're going to be stupid because they say you're stupid, or you're stupid because you listen to them. And I remember just looking at him in the eyes, and I was like, damn, I'm like 8 years old, 9 years old, like looking at it in the eyes, like I'm like, I was expecting like, some like encouragement, but like complete opposite, a huge break to like my mentality. But I knew it was the tough love I needed, because what he said next was everything I needed to hear. He's like, look, if you got to understand that people in life and everybody around this world has all been dealt a hand. Some people have been dealt has the best hands in the world, and some people just have nothing. But you're seeing people who have nothing and doing amazing things. So Trevor, like your whole goal in your life right now is to make yourself great. Your whole goal is to whatever people say, you do the complete opposite. Whatever someone's narrative for you, you completely rival that by showing what your worth is. And what you're gonna do, and if you want these bullies to stop, you want like to change the perception of how people view you, you're gonna have to work a lot harder. Simple fact. Either you work hard or you get nothing. And I remember him saying that, and I was a little kid, and instead of like me crying, I sucked it up, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to find a win here. And I know a lot of people didn't know the struggles that I was going through life, and because I didn't project it, I didn't care to tell people, because like my grandfather said, nobody cares. The time people only cares when you're doing great. And I remember turning a whole new leaf. I was the kid that would ask for more homework. I was a kid that was asking more questions. I was a kid that was reading books. I was a kid that was trying to learn every math problem and everything. I remember I was so amped up because I saw my skills getting better. And one day really, really changed a lot. And it was the day where I got my procedure done, where they do a checkup. It's an annual checkup. And what they'll do is, if you ever had a hearing impairment, this little education piece for you, that they'll put you in a room, they'll put you through a sound test. You have to identify the sounds, where it's coming from, all the above. And what they'll do is they'll do an IQ test at the end too, just to check if you're cognitively there. And I remember passing the sound test with flying colors. He says, "You might be Spider-Man because you can hear everything." I was like, "Yeah, it's getting better. Great." And then the doctor takes me and puts me in another room and do IQ tests. And I remember walking out, and just walking out, and he takes me into the same room I did the hearing test. And he's like, "Great job, Trevor. I think your hearing is amazing. I want to give the report over to your mom. So take a seat right here." And he walks out. And even though the glass door that's in front of me is soundproof, the wall behind me is thin as paper. And I remember him going out and sitting down with my mom, looking at my mom in the eyes. And my mom's name's Karina, and he looks at Karina and says, "You know what? Your son did amazing on his hearing test, and your son is flying colors with his hearing. But there's something I want to talk to you about, and it's his IQ test. And I want to be really real with you. I don't think Trevor is going to live the life that you perceive he's going to have. I don't think he's going to read past a fourth grade reading level. I don't think he's going to be able to graduate high school. I don't think he's going to be able to drive a car, because that takes a test, a written test, and he's not going to be able to comprehend it." And I remember sitting there with like, I don't even know how to describe that feeling. And I remember getting up, and the doctor's like, "Here, you're good to go with your mom." And I walk away, and my mom's asking, "What's wrong?" And I was just, "No, I'm good. I'm fine." She's like, "No, you're not. I know my son. What's going on?" She's like, "I'm just a little down, but it's okay." And I go and talk to I get into our house, and the first person I think of is going to my grandfather. And I go sit with my grandfather, and my tears just pour out my eyes. And I look at him and I say, I don't know what to do here. I feel like I've done so much work to get where I'm at, and nothing's working, nothing's prevailing. And I remember my grandfather is a white Caucasian who is, pasty white, and his skin color turns the beet red. And I remember looking up, and I'm like, what did I do? Did I set the bomb off? Like, what's going on here? He looks at me, and he's like stutters over his words. He grabs me to the shoulder. He's lifting me up in the air, and he's grabbing me, and like we're eye to eye contact. And he's like, "Didn't I have this conversation once with you? I told you," and excuse my vernacular, "I told you I don't give a fuck what anybody tells you can and can't be. I don't care who tells you what you're going to be able to overcome and achieve. Like, none of that jargon means anything to me, and it shouldn't mean anything to you. Do you know the reason why we're going to have a house over our head, and why your family and your uncles have a great life, is because we came from a farmland. I come from moving that life into New York, living in the slums, and then finding a career that is putting me six figures in my bank account. And to be honest with you, Trevor, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of people saying, "You're a farm boy. What do you think you're doing? Like, get back to baling hay." But if you want to achieve that something, you got to say that fuck what anybody says and just do it. Like, and he taps me in the arm, he grabs my arm, he like points at it. He's like, "What's in there?" And like, how's it? Like skin. And he's like, "No, no, no, no. That is that is your veins pumping through you, and what's pumping through the veins is blood. And you know what blood you have inside you is the Emery blood, and the Emery blood means you're the most stubborn bastard on planet Earth, and that means whatever you set yourself out to do, you're gonna achieve." And I remember that day, and I just said, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever I want because I said I wanted. And next thing I know, like now of course I could read past the fourth grade reading level, and of course I have a beautiful RC Lexus with my beautiful girlfriend, and well, I have a beautiful family, and now I'm running a business and doing very well, putting and being able to supplement a million now, and it keeps growing and it's going great. But I think if I didn't go through the trials that happened early on in life, I don't think I would be the Trevor I am today. I would, if you told me that if you had a chance to redo everything, would you redo it? I said, dear God, no, because I love what I do. Like everything has purpose to me. I feel like I can empathize with anybody that says it's hard, and I'm going to look in the eyes and be like, yes, it's hard. Thank you for saying it's hard, because if you want to be able to achieve what you want to do, you have to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to be able to push out of your comfort zone and get into your growth zone. You have to say that you want to achieve something really big, have a great image, have a great goal that you want to achieve in life, and let no bystander tell you what you can and can't do. I think so many times we take what other people say and we design it to be our lifestyle. I think we listen to people, what the critics and the naysayers, and they're the people that are not doing anything. They're the people that are dragging you down. They're the people that would never want to see you prosper. But it's funny, the moment you start doing great for yourself, and even for me, and now opening a business in Cleveland, Ohio, and having a lot of success in both marketing and sales, and working with many different clients, and now taking on Fortune 500 clients and taking their baby and be able to grow it. And that success comes from just believing in yourself, believing in what you want. There's a common line I always say, and I was trust the what, and the what is what you're doing and process you're going for and what you want to achieve. Fuck the win, because I love the process. I don't love the result, because the process is what gets me there. And always believe in your why, because the why is what gets you there. The why of what you want to be and what you want to do, and the why is important to you. Either that's as simple as getting back to your family, be able to experience different worlds, like whatever that is, you have the sole ability to do so. I wouldn't say, and people will look at me and say like, man, you're a successful entrepreneur, you're a CEO that's now doing this whole thing. You have the ability to writing on your time schedule, what you want to do, when you want to do it. Yeah, that's great, but I'm still not where I want to be. I told myself that I'm going to retire my family, and I fully intend on doing so. I told myself that I want to travel the world and see all the riches and be able to give back to other people and build a hospital in South America, be able to create an infrastructure, not only where people get jobs, but to be able to get Western medicine to people that are less fortunate. And those things come from just dreaming way bigger than yourself. But the only thing that sets apart a dreamer and a doer is the actions you put in. Because I've never believed in just dreaming what I want to do and saying that I'm going to do it. I'm going to put the actions in to get the desired result that I want. And that's a lot to what. And I probably want a super rant, going from my life to what got me to my success. And I know might have some questions, but that's really my perception of what it's like to grow from what seems like nothing and get yourself to where you want to be. And that's just by being a doer.
I mean, I'm at a loss for word, man. That was just so just inspiring, man, that you came on and just share like pretty much your life story on how you was able to basically come from all these hardships, man. And to now see that, you young, like, in your like late 20s doing all this great work, man, for your business. It's just mind blowing to me, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I try to tell a lot of y'all, man. It's like, don't look at your disadvantage, you know, as a disadvantage. Look at it as an advantage, you know what I'm saying? Look at it as, hey, like, I may not be what somebody else is, but let me work what I can, let me work with what I got. You know what I'm saying? And this man has just really poured out to y'all about, how he, basically grew up deaf. Like, he had a lot of people down this man. The doctors told him he couldn't do a lot of things. He couldn't even, he wouldn't be able to graduate high school. And now, he's making, like 6, 7 figures, you know what I mean? So it's just so, amazing, man. Like, I salute you, man, to, overcome all that stuff, man, and, getting to where you want to be, man. And, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people want to, go on social media, they want to see all these, they want to see all these people, looking good. And, they always get caught up in, the results. They're always like, well, why is that person driving this car? Why does that person have this house? Like, I want to have the same thing. But, they don't understand the process. They don't understand the grind that it takes to be able to get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody just wants something quick. You know what I mean? Everybody just want, like, like instant oatmeal where you put it in the microwave, you warm it up for like a minute. That's the type of success people are looking for, but it's like, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna find some different, bumps and roadblocks along the way. And you're gonna, have to figure out how am I gonna, get through it. And so I'm just, man, that's just great how, I was able to listen to this story, man. Just, man, like, wow, I feel inspired myself, man. I feel inspired, man. I just want to go out and do more, man. You know what I mean? But I think, what I want to ask you is, like, you say you have a business in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm sure for people who are, who may be listening from Cleveland and may not really know what it is, you mind, just kind of giving us a summary, like, what do you do? Like, what's it like? What's like a day in Trevor Emery's life look like, from day to day?
It's really simple. So I don't want people to get mixed up with the MLMs, the people like places like Herbalife and all these other like places that do this the one source, one product, one client, and like that whole scenario. And what I do on a daily basis is I get to work and manage with clients. Um, and with these clients, what they simply do is, and why I call it the baby, is because they give me a product, and they want me to be able to create market penetration. They want me to be able to develop a market, and be able to really be able to get more people, more products out there, more of their services out there where more consumers are enjoying it. And that's exactly what we do is we make sure it's a simple supply and demand. I mean, even if you took basic business 101, it's a supply and demand chain. To give us the supplies we want and we reach the demands. I always say that these clients are so result driven that they want to have success. They want to see the market grow. They want to see their product grow. And that's what we provide. We provide the goals. We are the goal driven industry where these clients come to us. Here's what we want. We're like, hey, that's our goal now. We're gonna do whatever it takes to get to that. You say you want to be able to switch, and one of the huge clients that came to us was I was blessed with be a partnership. I was really surprised. It was Charter Spectrum, and Charter Spectrum, when they reach out to us, it was, well, we can't do the front loading. We can't take an industry and just drop it off in a place and be able to expand that product. We want to be able to get that to shine. We want to be able to grow, and we want to be able to change this perception where we're 60-40, where most people at AT&T and be able to take a sales force and be able to bring exactly that. And that's the amazing part. We've been here now for a year and a half, and it's completely changed. It's now more people have Charter Spectrum in this area than AT&T. And that was a great feeling when a year and a half come by. We sit down with the client. I'm sitting down with them like, you've met every expectation that we wanted and more. You've now created our profit margin to be able to reach exactly $4.3 million for us. And you did that in a matter of a year and a half. Like, amazing work. How'd you do it? I'm like, I did nothing. I just knew how to manage. I just knew how to get it out there. And I had an amazing team that did all the work. If I should never get any praise from this, it all goes to my team. And I think some people might call that a servant leader. I just call it doing the right thing. It's not me doing the work, it's my team doing the work. And now we're getting more partnerships, and there's more angles, more clients coming in. And I think 2020 has been a devastating year for many people. And what seems us lurking in the darks and bringing positivity, I think that's why I love that you opened up and said that we're trying to create something different. We're trying to create positivity in the world. And I think that was the amazing feeling, is be able to keep all my employees, be able to still get them paid, to be able to have a client at the beginning of this year say, thank you so much for what you did. We want more. And being able to look at my team is like, look, you did amazing. Maybe we can start progressing where you guys are doing the exact same thing. And it's just an amazing feeling when I always like to call it a symbiotic triangle. It's just something that is very easily researched. When a client's happy, we're happy. When the consumer's happy, we're happy. And then when we're happy, we're just happy. I think we're always going to be like that. And that's the full circle. It's the full scope, is to be able to do. I think a lot of people too, is they look at sales and they say, that's a dirty job. Nobody wants to do that. I don't know about you, but I love to say this, and this is something I learned from my business partners, #commission sucks. Because I don't know about you, because commission's great. Commission's putting thousands to not only thousands and thousands of dollars into my pocket, into my business, but it's doing the same thing for the people that are underneath me. They're doing an amazing job. And I don't know why this misconception that sales is bad. It's giving me opportunity, giving other people opportunity. It's allowing clients to be happy. This whole world is like direct marketing, indirect marketing is like one of the first things ever invented in this world. The trade of goods and salt, and it's an undying art, because it's something that is always going to need. Every company is always going to need people. Every company is always going to need more revenue. And it's a great gig to get into, is be able to help others. And I think if that's your full attention, any entrepreneur, you got to realize it's not about you, it's about everyone else. It's about your consumers. It's about the people that have under you. It's about the clients. As long as that is your servant duty to help others and bring positivity in the world, I think amazing things will come to you regardless. And sometimes you just have to wait to reap the harvest.
Yeah, I love that point, man. I love that where you say, it's about helping others. And, I've listened to a lot of, motivational speakers, entrepreneurs myself, and they never start with money, which is the thing. You don't want to ever go into business, just starting, I want to make money. Okay, well, how you gonna make money, right? Like, what's your purpose?
What I like to say, I've recently said this to somebody. I was like, look, you're gonna do something you love so much where you stop chasing the money, and the money just will chase you. When you chase a dream and you chase what you want to do, and you chase to something that you believe in, trust me, no matter what, the money's gonna chase you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Just like that's where you got to get to if you want to be, financially, wealthy, is like he was talking about, he have money work for him. So if you have, money working for you, you in a good spot, you know what I mean? So, that's good, man. And I'm sure, a lot of people, want to get to that point. And so, what I want to, ask you now, being a businessman and entrepreneur and so on and so forth. You're in a good place right now. Why don't you explain to the people who might be listening to this and they're like, man, like, how do I get to that point? Like, what is it going to take for me to get to the place where I got money working for me? So, like, why don't you like explain like the action steps and like, the type of work it's going to take in order for people to get to that level?
I so I think with 2020, we've realized a lot of bad things came out of that. Not just what's happening to the world, and not with the pandemic. It's about what's plaguing our mind, and it's the lazy tendency of not pushing towards the goal, the desired goal that you want. So many people will wake up on New Year's like, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna change everything I do. I'm gonna eat healthy, but the reality of things, they change no habits to get to the result they want. And I told you, if you're talking about things, the common line you hear is like, speak things in existence. It's true, but if you don't change anything else, you're just gonna be speaking about the same thing. You're gonna be that person in the bar at the age of 50 and 60 and saying, man, I wish I would have done this. I mean, I could have been this. I don't know. I just never wanted to live my life that way. I remember seeing so many people, even in Indiana, go to the bar. And that was what they were talking about. And I don't know if I felt like the outcast or I was just weird, but I just never wanted that to be my life. I never wanted to be the person who wished things would happen. And I think anybody who has a dream and who wants to do something bigger than themselves and who have aspirations of changing their life, you got to change habits, because habits are the most important thing to change anything. The example you set for other people is so important. The abilities to change the desired result is saying, what am I going to do different? Am I going to wake up earlier? Am I going to put this into my schedule at this routine time? And it takes the consistent action. You might change the habit, but next thing you know, you're like, the next week it's like, man, I'm going to take it off. I'm just going back to what I used to do. It's going to work out. It's not. It takes you putting in the right results. And what I mentioned earlier was like, you got to fall in love with the process, not in love with just getting the goal. And that's what I said a lot. You're just going to realize, even if I'm speaking to some of these people and some of these people that listen to this and say, I'm going to change everything, you're going to realize some people, and again, excuse my vernacular, are just full of shit. You're going to realize that some of these people are going to really do some big things. You're going to see some people who want to retire their family and open a business, and whether that's a bakery shop, and whether that's selling merchandise, whether that's helping a client and making things more efficient, whether that's coming with the idea and jumping on Shark Tank and maybe becoming the Mr. Wonderful and investing in stocks. But you got to understand, it takes research, it takes development, it takes knowledge. It takes you putting yourself around the right people, developing a great network, because the greater your network, the greater the net worth. That's how I've always been taught, is you got to create a great network around you. And understand, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger had a speech about this, that someone asked him in a speech, he's like, how did you become a self-made man? And what I love that he said, he's like, what are you talking about? I'm not a self-made man. You thought I got here to where I'm at because I did it? There's so many people I would go on my hands and knees and thank for the opportunity that I am at right now, to where I'm at in life. There was so many people that got me to this journey. So there's no such thing as a self-made anybody. You have to either, if you have a network, great. If you don't have a network, create it, because that's what's going to get you there, by the people you know. And I thank my business partners that are around me. I told you, I think people would look at me and say, it looks like you have the best life. I say I'm really far from my full potential. And it's because it's never ending. It's not, I'll probably be at 70 years old and say, did you achieve everything in life? And I'm like, I have not. I still got to work with myself. I'm still not great enough. I'm still not perfect, because reality is no one's gonna be perfect. No one's gonna get, like, you're not gonna get everything, but you definitely can work your ass off to get to that point where you want to be. It takes diligence. It takes hard work. It takes you being very selfless. It takes you failing 1,000,001 times, just like Thomas Edison making the light bulb. And I don't care if it takes me 1,001 tries. That one try is going to change everything. That one try where I put one more effort in, and then it gives me what I want. And a line that I go by is that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard enough. I had the abilities of playing collegiate baseball. I love my time in the game, and I think what the game taught me about life, really, because I think everybody wants to navigate through life and find all its roots and be able to find their pursuit of happiness. But I think what baseball really taught me, playing the game and be able to play at a really high level, is that there's nobody batting 1,000. There's barely anybody batting 500. You barely see people buying a candy bar $1.50, $2.50. You barely see people doing that. And like, you're seeing the best people in the league who are batting 250, 300, nobody batting 1,000, but they're praised. Because what the game is 70% of it is failure. You're going to strike out a lot. You're going to boss the ball a lot. You're going to believe that you hit the ball as great as you can, and then the outcome doesn't get your desired result. But that's never stopped anybody. Anybody that plays at a high professional level, they don't stop. They understand failure is part of the path of getting to where you want to be. Like, you're looking at somebody that saw 2020 and people are like, oh my God, like, what are we gonna do? The world is gone. Like, in Ohio, remember, everything shut down. And instead of like stopping, I was like, you know what? Why don't we take our business and why don't we go all the way to California? And we went all to California. We created opportunity. And like, that's what I mean. Like, a real entrepreneur or anybody that has a dollar and a dream, they're going to look at everything with the most optimistic perception. They're going to see the riches when people see just dirt. It's about not looking at what other people see. It's about believing what you're going to see that grows.
So that's facts, man. That's facts, man. I love everything you said there, man. Just believing in yourself is what I got from what you're saying. Believe in yourself. Have a dream. Don't let nobody stop you from dreaming, man. Just keep going at it. And I also like when you said, toward the beginning, is have them action steps. It's one thing to have, a goal written down. Is one thing, for you to say it, but you got to do it.
And there's a study from Harvard where they talk about successful people, and I remember reading about this, and what it talked about is why there's these people who are doing amazing things and the people who make an average more than everybody in income and earnings and what they do. He talked about those are the people that wrote down their goals, wrote down their dreams, and wrote down what they want to do, and wrote down the actions of one day how that's going to happen. And I think that it's really true. Like, we talk about putting good money into our pockets. We talk about our goals, but nobody writes it down. It's somehow that intangible. I have no idea what the real psychological aspect of writing it down is. Don't ask me that. But I just know when you write your goals down, you have it in front of you, and it stares you in your face, and you have a vision board and a mission. Man, it is so hard for anyone to tell you can't do it.
Yeah, man. I love that, man. And just with you and I'm sure you probably experienced a lot of, like I said, a lot of negativity, a lot of hardships along in your journey, especially being a black man and as a business owner. I'm sure you probably experienced some racism, some like you probably overlooked and stuff like that. But I think one last thing I want to just kind of touch on before we close the show out and everything like that. Just talk about what it's like, just overcoming those barriers as a black businessman, because there's a lot of there's a lot of folks that, especially minorities that, will be like, well, I can't do this because of this person, or I can't, achieve this because there's somebody in my way. You know what I mean? And just like, just touch on like, how to like just look past that, how to just stop letting those barriers get to you and just go out and just achieve what you was destined to do.
Uh, uh, to me, like, I don't know if it's because of the environment I put myself around. I think I think you're going to be the byproduct of the people you put yourself around. I was taught that if you take the six people you hang around with the most, you that's the not only the amount of money you're going to be making, but that's how your perception is going to be of the world. And like for me, I've always put myself around the people that believe in adversities, the people that believe that like everybody's one, the belief that like yes, there's a lot of negatives in this world, but why focus on the negatives when we have a life and we have the abilities to do so much with it? And if something goes in your way that you don't like, just move out of the way. And right now, I know I just saw a reporting that Donald Trump got impeached, and I know there's gonna be a lot of people already studying and potentially. And I swear, and I hope to God that nothing happens. But I I don't see the necessity of getting wrapped up to what's black, what's white, what's mixed. Like those things don't mean anything to me because like I don't like it's just a color. Like why do we care about these things? Why do we care about racial profiling? Why do we talk about the micro progressions? Why do we talk about whether someone's mulatto, whether someone's black? Why is it the first thing we want to talk about instead of just getting to know a person? Giving a fuck about what someone like giving empathy about somebody's life and what they're going through. It's just to me like colors never matter in the matter of life, never mattered in what I do, the way I talk, the way I dress. Yeah, I was told that you're black, so why aren't you talking ghetto? You're white, like why are you hanging around us? You talk very proper. Like what's wrong? Like what's wrong with you? And to me, I always view. I guess like I told you, I think I'm a weird oddball person who's looked at those things and never cared about it because I like I don't have my time to waste on those things that don't add value to me. And I think that's the message I want to have. If I really were to talk about that, I don't think I can be the Martin Luther King Jr. and stand out in front of everybody and say I have a dream. Um, that's just not my battle. I think you are the drop in the bucket, the ripple effect of what you do in life. You don't realize if you step back and you watch the ripple effect and what the outcome is. It's the good that you put in the world. And I've seen it. I've been on the baseball field going to Tennessee, Kentucky, and people looking at me and saying, like, "Oh, we have one of those black folks come on the field." And going up to him and being the nicest person I can ever be, and paying no minds because I'm here to play the game. I don't care about you. Either you can shut up and throw the ball to me, and I'll rip in a new one. Either I'm gonna catch your ball and you're gonna be sorry because like this color person just caught your ball. I'm gonna prove everything that color does not matter into whatever you say. So it's to me, it's just go out there and do what you want to do with the world. Make the world better. Look at things like that and give no minds to it. But damn sure stand up if someone says anything against that. Damn sure if like someone's getting ripped, like if somebody is being like someone is looking at somebody and talking about the color of their skin and be the person in the room that can change the room and say, why are we talking about this? Why don't we talk about the real thing is how we're going to change this? So being a black business owner, I don't think I've ever used that in my title. It's because like I don't view those things. Like I'm just a business owner. I'm just a businessman. And whether that's a businesswoman, whether that's whether that's an Indian and whether that's someone who's Hispanic, it just that shouldn't be at all in the perception of anybody. So just bring good into the world, stand up for what's right when you know it's right, and just make the world a better place.
Yes, sir, man. I love it, man. I love how you spoke about how, not using those titles as black, white, just be you, man. Just go out and do what you destined to do. Don't let the fact that, you black, you white, you Asian, nothing like that stop you from getting to where you want to be. And I just love that, man. I just love having you on the show, man. It was definitely, it's definitely great for you to pour into the listeners and just also pour into me too, man. Just, sit here and listen to your story and, what you represent is just a great example in the community. And it's just, you're doing some great things, man. I really applaud you for your work, man. And just,
I think you're doing great things, and I hope that what you're doing right now really does shed light for many people to do just better things in life, do bigger things in life. And I love podcasts like this where you were just trying to set the tone that there's so much bigger things that we can worry about.
yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I know there's probably going to be a lot of people, man, trying to, get in contact with you, trying to, hit you up and like, yo, man, I need some advice. Hey, man, like, you want to, give your social media or anything like that? People, you want to have people follow you on Instagram, Twitter, man.
So if I call correctly right off the top of my head, so my Instagram is TJ Emery _84. So that's how you can be able to find me. Um, if you guys want to reach out to me, anybody that listens to this, you're absolutely able to. I think even like Chris, he's able to just give me a buzz, and in a moment I'm like, here, how you doing? Let's figure this out. Let's do it. I love this stuff. And so the same goes to anybody.
Yes, sir. You heard it. TJ Emery _84, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Get this man a follow on Instagram. I'm sure you probably get some DMs after this, man. People gonna be trying to be like, hey, man, how you get to that level, man? How you make this bread and everything like that. But hey, man, he's just a good guy. He's probably gonna give y'all some advice. Just kind of, give you some stepping stones. You know what I mean? Because it starts with just taking a step. Even if it's a small step, man. My thing is, step forward. Take small steps forward. You know what I mean? Because eventually you're going to get to where you want to be, man. But, hey, man, it's definitely been a pleasure to have this man on, man. I thank you for taking his time out of his busy schedule to be on here with me, man. I just want to remind y'all once again that this podcast is on Instagram, okay? At Disinfecting Your Life, no spaces, no capitals. We will be posting this episode on Monday. So be aware. This will be on YouTube and it'll also be on Spotify. So be checking Instagram because we're going to definitely give y'all some updates, and also with the merch. Once again, step towards your purpose, because this is what we're going to be doing in 2021. We're going to step toward our purpose. We ain't going to step back. We're going to step toward our purpose. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, this your boy, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Definitely give y'all another fire episode in the upcoming weeks. But it's definitely been a pleasure having this man on, man. But hey, man, I'll catch y'all later, man. Talk to y'all soon, man. Peace.